Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you read the title, yes, these are our after week 2 power rankings. And if you watch the first 2 videos, you're like, wait, this isn't your normal format. It is not. I decided to do something, one that's probably easier on me, so I'm not reading out of this book. And then I was getting lost last time I was doing that. So I figured this is an easy way for me to say something and then actually see it, because I have my numbers all mixed up. I can't even, I would have a team here, and then it was a disaster. I was drawing lines, and I was disaster, absolute disaster. We're gonna stay a little bit more structured here right now. I am going to go through 1 through 32. This isn't a top 10 tier list. This is every single team in the NFL, and we are going to be breaking down how they look from 32 all the way to 1. But we're gonna be doing it on the Tier List Maker website. So here are our tiers on how we are doing this. We have the tier list. Dookie Booty Cheeks. Worst of the worst. Booty Cheeks. You would rather be Booty Cheeks than Dookie Booty Cheeks. You're trash. We have Fix Something and We'll Talk, meaning you can get better, but if you don't fix it, you're going to be in the trash category. We have Mid. You're just a mid team. We have a Frisky team, which is, a team that you don't really want to play right now. And they could potentially, if they get a little bit better, vault into the next ranking, which is playoffs. Then we have a championship contender, and then we just have GOAT status, which GOAT status, I think I'm really going to have like 1 or 2 teams in that category. So let's start it off with our first team. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to go level by level. I'm not going to be going like Baltimore, like how it is down here. I'm going to be going level by level. So to start it off, let's go with our first Dookie Booty Cheeks team, and that is the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints took on the San Francisco 49ers in a game that I'm not going to say that they should have won, but I don't know. Maybe they should have won the game considering everybody on the 49ers was hurt. This is just a year that we all know the Saints are going to be horrible. They're not really going to be a good team whatsoever. Spencer Rattler and then their quarterback situation after that. They got rid of Jake Haener. They have Tyler Shaw. It's a nightmare right now for the Saints. They are going to be Dookie Booty Cheeks all year. Like, I could burn this into this tier list. They're not getting any better whatsoever. They can get worse. They will not be getting any better, in my opinion. Our next Dookie Booty Cheeks team. So the Saints are 32nd. So my 31st team right now is the Miami Dolphins, and they are Dookie Booty Cheeks. They got to get rid of Mike McDaniel. Losing to the Patriots. Now, they did score points. I will give them that. They looked a little bit better on the offensive side of the ball, but this was a game that they had to win, honestly. They really had to win, because now they play tomorrow versus the Buffalo Bills. They may lose by 50. This was a game that they had to win, and I think it's time for Mike McDaniel to kind of step away from the team. I would rather him step away from the team than him get fired. It's better optics, in my opinion. I think that he needs to go somewhere, be a passing game coordinator for a year, or a NFL special game analyst, whatever they say, just so he can get a paycheck. The next year, become an offensive coordinator, and then try to learn and work his way back into being a head coach. Tua is not very good. Tyreek Hill seemingly wants out. The defense for them is terrible. The Miami Dolphins, 31st best team in the league. 31st best, yeah. They stink. Dookie Booty Cheeks. All right, team number 30, and this team is probably going to be our last Dookie Booty Cheeks team, and that is going to be the Carolina Panthers, coming off a loss to the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know what's going on with Bryce Young. Bryce Young, at the end of every year when it's like, you need to have it, you got to get better, he does. But for some reason, at the beginning of the year, he just can't figure it out. And this team could probably move up to the Booty Cheeks category if they had more than one pass catcher. But right now, Xavier Legette, what is going on with him? They have Tetairoa McMillan, who looks like a rookie. They have Hunter Renfrow, which please get him out of that situation. Xavier Legette, they put a significant pick into him, and the guy has negative yards on the season, I believe. It's terrible right now. I don't know what's going on with Bryce Young. This team is not very good. I have a feeling that they're going to be like up to here towards like the end of the year, only because Bryce Young seems to get better when he needs to. It's weird. But right now, they are my number 30 team, and they are Dookie Booty Cheeks. All right, team number 29, and we are going to go with our first one in the Booty Cheeks category, and that is going to be the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, not very good. They got absolutely dominated by the Ravens in a game that you thought that they were going to get dominated by the Ravens, but they are looking better running the ball. Joe Flacco is okay, I guess. They're going to start moving on to other quarterbacks when they keep losing games this bad. But I like their defense. They have a very good defense. I wish it was my favorite team's defense. Their running game is good. It's just they can't really put it all together. The quarterback situation's weird. Their pass catching situation isn't the best whatsoever. But I do like their defense, and that's why they're in the booty cheeks category, because they did get blown out. Now, I understand that they were playing a team that, spoiler alert, is probably in the championship contender range, but you can't get beat that bad, especially against a divisional opponent. You play them twice a year, you have tape on them and what they like to do. You just got absolutely killed. I could see the Browns getting a little bit better this year, but it also could get much, much worse if they move on to a Dylan Gabriel, to a Shedeur Sanders, or whoever else. Yeah, it's not looking the best for the Cleveland Browns, but I will just keep them in booty cheeks right now. My number 28 team, we are going with the Chicago Bears, because what is happening right now? I thought Ben Johnson was the guy. They look so good in the first 3 quarters versus the Minnesota Vikings. What is going on? And then they get absolutely trounced, destroyed, killed by the Lions. 50 burger put up on them. Caleb Williams looks like he's not even worthy of stepping on a football field, let alone being a quarterback in the NFL. This is bad right now for the Chicago Bears, and it's going to get even worse. If you lose to the Minnesota Vikings, who looked horrible last week, yeah, this is not a good omen for them. The only reason why they're not in Dookie Booty Cheeks is because I would much rather have their situation on offense and defense, because they have players. It's just it's not all coming together. Honestly, I feel like if Tyson Bagent was in right now, they would be a much better team. Caleb Williams is playing that bad, and it is not looking good for the Chicago Bears whatsoever. So I have them in my booty cheeks category. But they can move up, but they could definitely start moving down if Caleb Williams does not figure it out. Our next team in the booty cheeks category, we are going with the Tennessee Titans. I feel bad for Cam Ward, because Cam Ward, I saw a tweet that said that Cam Ward is doing everything that Will Levis tried to do. It's just that it's working. And it is to an extent. That first week against the Broncos, his pass catchers were not really helping him out a ton. They did run into a Rams team that is very good. They lost 33-19. You know, I like Cam Ward. I think that he is going to get better. He's better right now. I would honestly rather have Cam Ward right now than Bryce Young. Honestly, I'd rather obviously have him than Caleb Williams or any other quarterback situation on this list right now. I just don't feel that they're going to get much, much better. And playing and getting destroyed like that to the Rams is kind of a litmus test for them on the rest of the year. And when they play contenders, or good teams, I should say, they're going to get blown out, and they'll be able to hang with these frisky teams down here, or frisky, these booty cheek teams down here, I should say. We're not in the frisky category yet. So the Tennessee Titans, they're in my booty cheek category right now. All right, and then my final team in the booty cheek category is going to be the New York Jets. Oh my God, they got pummeled. Justin Fields had like 29 yards passing. He's now in concussion protocol. The Jets, at one point, they were up in the frisky category. They looked so good versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we're seeing that the Steelers are bad, but the Jets they're back to being the goddamn Jets. I feel so bad if you're a Jet fan, because now you have Tyrod Taylor as your quarterback for however long Justin Fields is out. You got crushed. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. While you still have good players, and while you maybe will be able to get in shootout type games against teams that have bad defenses, it's just, yeah, I was conned. I was fooled by the New York Jets. I thought they were here. They are in the booty cheek category. Can they move down here? Yes. Can they move back up? Sure, but right now they're booty cheeks. Okay, so I seemingly lost my way with ranking these teams, so I'm just not going to do that. We're going to move on to the trash category, and the first team that I'm going to have in the trash category, I'm going to have the New York Giants, where for some reason Russell Wilson has found like a career renaissance right now. The dude, I think, he's like leading the league in passing. Crazy. I understand that they played the Dallas Cowboys, and the Cowboys don't have the best defense, but this was the type of game that you would expect the Cowboys to win by 20 points. Russell Wilson get booed off the field, and then they bring in somebody and they kind of fight their way back with the backup quarterback or whatever. But no, Russell Wilson is slinging it. They lost in overtime. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I really don't know what else is going on. Now, everything else for this team is very, very bad. Their run game isn't the best. Their offensive line's not the best. Their defense is not good. Yeah, I don't think Russell Wilson, I don't think this career renaissance is going to last for very long. I think they're going to run into a team that has a good defense and a good offense. If they played the Green Bay Packers tomorrow, they may lose 30-0, honestly. So I'm going to have them in the trash category, and I think Russell Wilson, little by little, is just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And then they'll play a bad defense, and he'll look great again, and then he'll get worse. So right now, I have them in the trash category with the potential of them moving down the list. I don't think they're going to get any better this year. My next team in the trash category is a team that Baker Mayfield dropped his nuts on, and that is the Houston Texans. They looked good for a little bit there. We thought the Nico Collins and CJ Stroud connection was back, and then for some reason they couldn't tackle Baker Mayfield on a 4th and 10. He ended up scrambling. Sorry, I'm burping. Ended up scrambling and getting a first down. This team is trash right now. Their offensive line is just not good, and I don't think it's something that they can even fix. I really don't. This is like a situation that you have to reevaluate towards the end of the year, and I think it's going to hold them back like badly right now. And this was a team that is playing in a very winnable division. At least it looked like that towards the beginning of the year. It looks like they may be one of the worst teams in the division. They could finish third. They could finish last. The Houston Texans right now, the problems that they have, I don't think can be fixed throughout the year. I mean, unless they make a huge trade, which definitely will not happen. You don't see stuff like that much in the NFL. So I have the Houston Texans in the trash category. They maybe could move up, but what I'm seeing from them right now, I don't think they're going to get any better. They're going to stay trash because that offensive line is bad. They're going to beat up on bad teams, but when they play a good team like they did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, yeah, they're trash. My next trash team is a team in their division, and that is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. What is going on with Brian Thomas Jr.? It seems like everything that's going on with Travis Hunter, like in week 1, he could have had an 80-yard touchdown. Ball was overthrown. He possibly could have had a touchdown last week. Seemed to have been underthrown and intercepted. Get him the ball. Figure out a way to get the ball in his hands. You gave up a ton of draft capital to get him. Figure out how to get the ball in his hands. Jet sweeps, screen passes, do something. Get the ball in his kid's hands. And Brian Thomas Jr., apparently he was hurt going into this game. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence, he's thrown for over 400 yards, so he looks okay. But he's still just, he's not that guy that we thought he was going to be. I don't know what's going on with him. They look better than they did under their previous coaching staff. Liam Cohen is kind of making the offense better. Travis Etienne is having a resurgence, so I do love that, especially because he's on my fantasy team. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are in the trash category with the potential to possibly move up. I know this team is 2-0. I hate to do it, but I have to put them in the trash category because I'm basing it right now, and that is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. And quite literally the only reason why they're in the trash category, and because, you know, you guys are going to get mad at me for it, Joe Burrow is out for 3 months, and Jake Browning is a good quarterback, but he's not Joe Burrow. Their defense is getting a little bit better, I will say that. They're still trash. They are still, without Joe Burrow, they are trash. If Joe Burrow was I will do this. If Joe Burrow was healthy right now, they would be frisky. But because Joe Burrow is out for 3 months, and I'm basing this on week 2, going into week 3, they are trash. So that is quite literally the only reason they did get a win versus the Jags. Good for them for that. They're 2-0. I don't know if they'll be able to keep this going with Jake Browning, but they would be frisky. They are trash. Okay, my final trash team is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Geno Smith looked like absolute garbage versus the Chargers. They looked abysmal. They looked horrible. I don't know what's going on with Ashton Genty. He's not looking like the guy that we thought he was going to be. Usually, like, we thought that he was going to burst onto the scene and be like an Adrian Peterson type It is not looking that way whatsoever. And I know that one guy can't dominate a defense, but he is just not doing it. And then on top of that, your quarterback sucks. So now everybody can just load the box to stop him. The Raiders got killed. They look terrible. Yeah, they're trash. They're just trash. And I feel bad because I like Pete Carroll and I like Ashton Jeanty and I like Geno Smith, but it's just not all coming together right now. And they may need another year to kind of figure it all out. The Raiders are trash. All right, my first team in the fix something and we'll talk category, we are going with the New England Patriots. They did beat the Miami Dolphins, but the Dolphins, again, if you look at the rankings, they are dookie booty cheeks. They're very bad. The first week, very up and down for Drake May. This week, still a little bit up and down. He did improve, and that is where my fix something comes in for them, and it's mostly just Drake May. I think if Drake May starts to figure it out, this team is going to get a lot better. Mike Vrabel is going to elevate the rest of the team, but it starts with your quarterback right now. You got to get your quarterback better, and I think that as he gets more confident, as he hits more throws, as he starts to figure it out, then Mike Vrabel's going to get more confident in him, and then the whole team is just going to elevate right now. So I like the New England Patriots. I just think they need to fix their quarterback situation. So they fix that, and we'll talk about moving them up in the rankings. Now, if it gets worse, obviously they move down, but they're in the fix something and we'll talk category. The next team for that is going to be the Minnesota Vikings, and the one thing that they need to fix was their quarterback situation. It looked good in that Bears game in the fourth quarter. The first three quarters looked bad. Then they played the Falcons, and it was very, very bad. Now, J.J. McCarthy is hurt. He's out, and they had to bring in Carson Wentz. Can Carson Wentz, with a little bit of a veteran presence, kind of figure it out and put it all together? They did lose Aaron Jones, but when you have Justin Jefferson, and then they're going to be getting Jordan Addison back, I think if they figure out their quarterback situation, they will be perfectly fine. So I'm not saying that they should bench J.J. McCarthy if Carson Wentz plays well, but they need J.J. McCarthy to start figuring it out a little bit more, and then they'll elevate. But that's their fix something for me. The same with the Patriots. Fix your quarterback situation, and we'll talk. My next fix something and we'll talk team is going to be the Dallas Cowboys, because the Dallas Cowboys have shown that they can put up points. The one thing that they need to do is fix their defense. I don't know if they can overnight, because getting rid of Micah Parsons is a huge hit, but I feel that they'll be able to gel a little bit more. I feel that they'll get better as the season goes on. I'm just hoping that for them, as they get better on defense, the offense continues to stay the same and or get a little bit better. So if the Dallas Cowboys start figuring out their defense, they're not going to beat like the upper echelon like GOAT contender teams, but they could hang with the playoff and championship contender teams, in my opinion. So I feel that if they can figure out their defense and get better, they are going to move up the ranks immensely. All right, and then my final fix something and we'll talk is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is something that listen, I'm a Steeler fan. I'm a little bit biased to this. Their offense looks better, I will say that, than previous years. The offensive line, they need to figure it out a little bit. They did look better last week than they did in week one. The defense needs to figure it out. And I do think that they can actually turn it around because they have a litany of injuries. Deshaun Elliott got hurt. Joey Porter Jr.'s hurt. Derek Harmon's hurt. Nick Herbig, Alex Hyde. It's a disaster right now on the defensive side of the ball with injuries. And I think the Steelers, with people coming back, with people getting better, when Derek Harmon's there, you know, there's a little bit more leeway that you have to give to TJ Watt, because now if you leave TJ Watt double team, then you're going to have Cam and Derek. There's a lot of things that could go right for the Steelers when guys come back and get healthy. Now, there's a lot that can also go wrong. They could just absolutely implode on themselves. The Steelers right now, in week one, played like a mid-team. Last week, they were booty cheeks. But so that's why I'm doing it like, fix something and we'll talk. Because the offense looked good in week one. They looked okay-ish last week. The defense both weeks, terrible. The Steelers are trending downwards, but if they fix their defense, we'll talk. All right, moving on, we're going to go to our first team in the mid category. That is going to be the Seattle Seahawks, who beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. They dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers. They know how to play special teams. I will give them that. Sam Darnold looked competent versus the Steelers. He didn't look good in that first week. Their defense has to get a little bit better, but it's not at that point where it's like, you need to fix it. You need to fix it, and we'll talk. Like, they're good enough right now to win games. Sam Darnold is good enough right now to win games. I don't feel that this team is ever going to be down in the booty cheeks category right now. They just have enough players to make it work. They have a good running game. They have a good passing attack. When Sam Darnold is on, the defense has their moments that they can put it all together. So as of right now, I have the Seattle Seahawks in the mid category, but they have the potential to get up to playoffs, frisky. I think their floor right now is trash. My next team in the mid category is going to be the Arizona Cardinals. They did get a win versus the Panthers. The biggest thing is just Kyler Murray right now. And if him and Marvin Harrison Jr. start establishing a better connection and really being that dynamic duo that everybody wants them to be, this team is a playoff contender, in my opinion. This team can make a deep run in the playoffs, in my opinion, if they figure that out. Their defense is getting better. They just need to figure out this Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. combination situation. I think once they do that, this team is going to be awesome. They are 2-0. They just need to figure that out. And if they do, I'm going to be scared of them. I really will. So they are right now in the mid category for me. And then my next mid team is going to be the Denver Broncos, where I can't believe they lost to the Colts. The Colts are like the craziest story of the year. We'll get to them in a little bit. They did lose to the Colts on a last-second field goal. Bo Nix, it seems like defenses are really learning how to stop him right now, and I expect Sean Payton to start simplifying things, scheming things a little bit better for him. But right now, Bo Nix, I think he really has to figure it out. Now, he is playing better than a lot of other quarterbacks down here, but it is not to the level of what we expected from a Denver Broncos team that coming in, we thought they were going to be a top 10 offense and like a top 5 defense. People thought that they were going to overtake the Chiefs in that division. Now, they are 1-1. They have a better record than the Chiefs, but they have a lot of work to do with Bo Nix, and I'm hoping it's not like a super sophomore slump, but he is not looking all that well right now. And then this may be a surprise. My final mid team is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is seemingly the only thing that is keeping this team I can't even say alive because they're 0-2. I don't think that they're going to go to 0-3, but if they do, they are in big trouble right now. They are playing like a mid team. They are. I understand that they ran into 2 good teams, but that Charger game is a game that you have to win. I don't know if it was like, hey, we're playing the Chargers, and, we already know that we got to play the Eagles next week, so that was like a look-ahead spot for them, and it was in Brazil, but they're not playing very well right now, and I understand that their defense looked good versus the Eagles. They held the Eagles, whatever the Eagles do on the offensive side of the ball, people think it's boring. The Eagles still got the W right now. Patrick Mahomes has to do everything. Travis Kelce dropping balls, running into his own players. They don't have Rashee Rice right now. I think they need to make a trade for a running back. They need to make a trade for a receiver. They need to give Patrick Mahomes a little bit more help right now. And they are playing like a mid team, in my opinion. Now, they will absolutely have opportunities throughout the year to get to here. I don't think they're going to drop anything lower than mid. I don't think they will. They have a chance to skyrocket. They can prove me wrong, having them in the mid category this week and boost their way up. But as of right now, they are playing like a mid team. And as I was thinking about it, another team that is sort of playing mid, in my opinion, and people didn't really think they'd be there. I'm putting them in the mid category right now, and that is the Washington Commanders. And while I do think there are some aspects of their game that they are playing better than the Kansas City Chiefs, they got crushed by the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers, spoiler alert, probably in the GOAT tier right now. They look so freaking good. But Jaden Daniels is looking pedestrian compared to what he looked to last year. They didn't look all that good they didn't look the best, I'll say, versus the New York Giants. And then they got killed by the Green Bay Packers. They're looking like a mid team right now. They have injuries across the board. Austin Eckler's out for the year. They're playing very mid right now. Again, this is another team that could absolutely vault their way up into the rankings. But if we're going based off of after week 2, they're very mid. All right, we're off those. Now we're into the frisky category. And there's not many teams here that are in the frisky category. We'll start it off with my first frisky team, and that is going to be the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons 1-1, but they were a missed kick away from Younghoe Koo from being 2-0 and beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Michael Penix Jr. looked very good, and they destroyed the Minnesota Vikings. They made J.J. McCarthy look like an absolute sham. They made him look like a fraud. I understand that the Minnesota Vikings had a ton of injuries, but they capitalized on those injuries, and they played very well. I looked up, and the score wasn't getting any better for the Vikings, and the Falcons were playing very well, very good complementary football. Bijan Robinson is very good. Drake London is very good, and Michael Penix Jr. is getting better. He is looking like what Bo Nix should probably be right now. He is playing a little bit better than Jaden Daniels right now. So I like what Michael Penix Jr. is doing. This team is very frisky. Again, they were one missed kick away from being 2-0. They are a very frisky team. And then my next frisky team is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. I thought they were going to be dead in the water this week, considering who they lost. They lost Brock Purdy. They lost George Kittle. And they still don't have Brandon Ayuk. Everybody right now was hurt on this team except Christian McCaffrey, and they still found a way to win. Now, they did play a Dookie Booty Cheeks team, but Mac Jones looked good in that offense. Kyle Shanahan is just an excellent schemer. At this point right now, it really doesn't matter who's playing quarterback for them. As long as Christian McCaffrey's healthy, this team is going to be there towards the end of any game. They are frisky to the max. They are not a team that I want to play right now. And then my final frisky team, holy crap, it is the Indianapolis Colts. I cannot believe what is happening with Daniel Jones. They are playing awesome complementary football. They look very, very good. They got a huge win this week. Their offensive line is super good. Jonathan Taylor looks great, and Daniel Jones is doing the right thing with the ball. And that's the thing with Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones played well in New York when Saquon Barkley looked good and the offensive line looked good. That's what's happening right now with the Colts is the Colts offensive line is good and Jonathan Taylor is good. So that really complements how Daniel Jones likes to play. And this team is frisky 2-0 right now. Who would have thought? I cannot believe it. Yeah, just crazy. They beat the Denver Broncos that everybody thought was supposed to be a championship contender. Yeah, just wow. A team that I am scared to play, honestly, right now, as a fan of the Steelers. Because I'm scared that Daniel Jones is going to torch us. All right, moving on to our playoff rankings. And there's only going to be a few here. First off, we're going to go with the Chargers. The Chargers got a dominant win versus the Raiders this week, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The only reason why I have them right now in the playoff category is, can they continue this? Can they keep it going? Like, they are playing very well right now. It's Omarion Hampton has to get going. The run game has to get going a little bit more. But we're learning that Keenan Allen didn't suck. It was just he was playing for the Chicago Bears. Justin Herbert looks awesome. I guess it's something with Madison Beer. Congratulations to him. He is really figuring it out. But this Charger team right now very much has the potential to me to jump their way into championship contender. As of right now, I'm going to have them in the playoff ranking, but they are looking very good. Now, things could get bad. They can move down to the mid or frisky category, but as of right now, they are playing like a bona fide playoff contender. My next team in the playoff rankings is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They look shaky in week 1. They almost lost to the Atlanta Falcons. They could have lost last week, but we are learning that Baker Mayfield is an absolute gamer. Emeka Egbuka is awesome. They have weapons across the board. They are going to get better when they get back Chris Godwin. Yeah, this team looks very good. The only reason why I'm not having them in the championship contender status yet is they got to get a big win right now. they're getting by the skin of their teeth right now, and I do think that they are going to get even better. Baker Mayfield is just an absolute baller. So they're in my playoff category right now, but you know, if they face any of these teams in the championship contender level, I think they're going to lose just because of the way that they're winning. But they're winning, and they're looking good seemingly while they do it. I mean, I understand that they're barely doing it, but it's still like impressive what they're doing. So I have them in the playoff category. My next team in the playoff category is going to be the Detroit Lions, because they got killed by the Green Bay Packers, and then I had them on Fraud Watch, but then this last week, they destroyed the Chicago Bears. And the reason why I don't have them in championship contender right now is because it was against the Chicago Bears. Now, they did hang a 50 burger on them. I ain't taking away the 50 burger. That is awesome for them that they were able to do that. But I want to see them beat a championship contender team, a playoff team, or even a GOAT status team right now, because they already played a team that is in the upper echelon, and they got kind of walked off the field. And then they played a Booty Cheeks team, and they destroyed them and walked them off the field. I want to see them beat a team that is above them in the rankings, or at least adjacent to them. We haven't seen that just yet. So, you know, I don't want this to be a situation where they're going to beat the bad teams really bad, but then lose really bad to the good teams. That's why I have them in just the playoff rankings right now. And then my final team for the playoff rankings is going to be the Los Angeles Rams. Huge win for them versus the Tennessee Titans. They look dominant throughout the second half. This Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams connection looks great. Matthew Stafford doesn't seem like that back injury is affecting him too much. The defense looks good. They did give up a crazy touchdown to Cam Ward, though. He broke every rule in the book about being a quarterback, but that was just an awesome throw by him. This is a team right now that, again, I want to see them beat like one of them super upper echelon teams, but they are a very, very good team, and they are only going to get better. And this is one of those teams that I do not want to see in the playoffs. All right, moving on to the championship contender, and we are going to start it off with the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens destroyed the Cleveland Browns, and we know what happened in week 1 with that crazy game versus the Buffalo Bills. That game, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens, I feel if they played it 10 times, they're both winning 5. Just an absolute insane game, very fun. It could have went either way. The Baltimore Ravens could honestly have the most complete roster in all of the NFL. It's just they gotta finish these games where they have these double-digit leads in the fourth quarter, but they are an absolute championship contender. Can Lamar finally take that next step and make it to the Super Bowl? We will see, but as of right now, they are a championship contender through and through. They look awesome. Next up in championship contender, the team that beat them, and we are going with the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, obviously, huge win versus the Ravens. Destroyed the Jets. Josh Allen is seemingly doing more Josh Allen things. The receivers are better than what they've been in years past, ever since they got rid of Stephon Diggs. They have to play the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. That is going to be a slaughter. You could probably just go to bed at halftime for that one. It's going to be, just a bloodbath. The only reason why I have them in championship contender and not GOAT is because I don't want them to go down in a big game like that again. Like, if they can prove to me that they can win a game, not convincingly, but strongly, against a team like the Baltimore Ravens or the last 2 teams on this list, the Green Bay Packers or the Philadelphia Eagles, like if they could win by 7 and not have to come back, you know what I'm saying right now? But they are a championship contender through and through right now as of week 2. And then my final championship contender, the Green Bay Packers. They look dominant all around, dominating the Lions, dominating the Washington Commanders. They look great. The only thing that they really got to get together, Jordan Love is kind of missing throws. Matthew Golden, what's going on with him? I know that Jordan Love is having a hard time getting him the ball, but their defense is just so freaking dominant, and they're just such a good team. Josh Jacobs is running it down people's throats. It's just freaking sane right now how good the Green Bay Packers look, and they are a 1,000% championship contender, teetering on GOAT status. But as you see here, our final pick. Our GOAT as of right now is the Philadelphia Eagles, beating the Kansas City Chiefs last week in Kansas City. Week 1, winning against the Dallas Cowboys. It's just so hard to stop Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. It's just, this team is very, very good. Their defense has to get a little bit better, I guess, but they still played well enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs on their home field. You know, you could argue that the Bills are playing better than the Eagles. The Packers are playing better than the Eagles, but the Eagles right now just on a crazy winning streak, coming off a Super Bowl win, and they're still looking dominant. They have to stay my GOAT. So those are my rankings for after week 2 of the NFL season. I hope you guys like this format a lot better. This is actually better for me. What I'm gonna do is I wasn't like numbering them like as I was laying them down, but pretty much as I was doing it was like this, kind of like a serpentine situation here. I'll put the numbers on the screen for where I actually have them ranked so you can see it. But yes, those are my rankings for after week 2. Let me know if you like this format. Be sure to check out our website, hailmary.media. Follow us, read our blogs, follow us on all of our short form platforms. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube Shorts. We are everywhere, baby. Give us a follow. Let me know if you like this, the way that I did this tier list. Hit the follow button, or not the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and have a beautiful week. And I will see you guys for our podcast on Friday. Be sure to listen to that. The Hail Mary. Have a beautiful week, everybody. Peace.